I believe I'm taken seriously, but then again, I feel like sometimes politicians do dodge questions. I think that's why the next steps, I feel like politicians need to understand what we've been saying. They need to give us a straight answer.
You're thinking of putting together some sort of youth council or something to get young people interested.
Yes.
What about your friends? Do you have friends who are as passionate as you are?
I do, but I don't think they get the chances to show that.
They really are. They do actually. Are they interested in politics?
Yes, that's why I'm.
Seriously?
Yeah. That's why I'm setting up a Isle of Man Youth Assembly, and it allows that opportunity, that bridge the gap between politics and children's voice by them getting involved and saying what they heard, and by setting this up, it really does give them a voice, I believe, and I'm going to work closely with the Isle of Man government and the youngsters of all of the schools across the island, so they get given topics to debate about, and so I can feed that back onto the Isle of Man. They can incorporate that into legislations or new steps.
Mr. Thomas, that's all very well, but would you take something like that seriously as a politician, a major politician?
Very much so. Every person's voice is equally important, and I learned something.
I mean, this is politics speech, but would you, if they came with a debate and say, we think this and it goes against what the government says, you wouldn't play a blind bit of notice, would you?
I learned something at the Voltaire Society, John. Basically, I think the notion that was being defended was that immigration was a good thing, and I agree completely with that. That got mixed up with the idea that we should take refugees inside one particular scheme, and I hope I learned that. I hope some of the young people who were, the 50 or so young people who were there, who were engaging in that discussion, got something from our contribution as well. So I certainly went away thinking about it. I hope they did, because that's the point of debating and that's the point of discussing.
Can I just raise one thing? Social communication through social media has gone through a reformation. We talk differently, kids talk differently, we talk differently. It's still inside Tynwald and the Keys. It's awfully long-winded and incredibly dull on occasion. Isn't it time for reformation of the way Tynwald and the House of Keys actually appear to the public, so they don't look quite so pompous?
Hear. I think so. I think, for instance, we still make statements basically repeating what's in explanatory documents that have already been provided to members. Why can't we go straight past that and get to the real debate?
And speak in English, for one thing.
Yeah, and we use phrases like honourable member, and we have a debating system that can
and I am
improved.
upstanding to speak. I mean, that's not really the sort of language you have in a pub, is it?
So I was excited about the Voltaire Society. They seem to meet very regularly. I know St Ninian's School have their own debating society. I remember they were very important in the constituency redrawing process a few years ago. Delighted that QE2 through Amy's initiative might add something into it, and I really do think it would be valuable from time to time to have a formalised interaction with the young people.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much for coming in, Mr. Thomas. Finally, do you want to be an MHK, Amy?
Possibly. We'll just see how things go into the future for me.
Amy Bennett of QE2 Sixth Former. Thanks very much for joining us, and obviously Chris Thomas, the Minister.